Welcome to this presentation of UPSL Soccer Action, live on YouTube and presented by the Atlantic Soccer Media Group.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this UPSL Georgia Premier Division action. It will be Limeno, Georgia versus Georgia Athletic. This week, UPSL Georgia lost one of its own. Kalanji Pro Profiles keeper David Magala lost his life this week. We ask at this time if you could please rise for a moment of silence. Thank you. At this time, please stay rise for the playing of our national anthem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this UPSL Georgia Premier Division action sponsored by Images Frozen in Time. Limeno, Georgia, taking on Georgia Athletic. Larry Weaver here alongside Andre Bomar. And Andre, we got an interesting little setup here. Limeno, Georgia, sitting at the higher part of the table, taking on Georgia Athletic, who stumbled a little bit, but they're right there in the mids, ready for what would be playoff action.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. These are two teams very similar in quality. I think Georgia Athletic has a little bit more experience, but I know that Limeno, well coached, they're doing very well as the first season back in Premier, looking for that playoff spot. These teams are both on 9 points, neck and neck. And I tell you what, with the first tiebreaker being head-to-head, the result from this game is going to be vital for both clubs, so they're going to be looking for maximum points.
Take a look at the leaderboard as it stands right now. Kalanji Pro Profile sitting at the top of the table. North Georgia United just behind them. That loss that happened for North Georgia, that's a big one for them. Potros FC, Dalton United, Limeno, Georgia Revolution, Georgia Athletic, UMA, they're all in playoff spots. Albi and SC Atlanta right now on the outside looking in, but they're tied on points with UMA. Pachuca, Georgia, not that far away. And FC Columbus Elite, they've kind of come out of nowhere. Were at the bottom of the table, now find themselves in 11th and only 2 points out.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been a dogfight in every area of the table, whether you're going for the division title, going for playoff places, or that fight against relegation zone. So it's going to be interesting. You know, FC Columbus played well early, but just couldn't get the results. Now they're getting them, and now it's drop Fountain City, but down there, SSL are fighting to get away from that zone. It's all very exciting, and it's a very compelling competition this season in the Premier of the Georgia Conference.
As we begin the second half of the spring season, week 9, 16 weeks in this season, 13 games. There's a couple weeks built in there for makeups. Again, you heard at the beginning of the broadcast, this is a bit of a somber weekend as we are paying tribute to David Magala, keeper for Kalanji Pro Profile, who lost his life this week, and just a sad story.
Yeah, very, very sad story. We just covered his game this past week. Super nice guy. We've known him for very many years. But this will have to be dedicated to him as we start this game out today.
Underway here at Meadowcreek Stadium, home of the Mustangs. Limeno, Georgia, they're in their blue kits with yellow, moving from left to right. Georgia Athletic, they're in their solid red kits, and they're moving from right to left.
Like I always say, Larry, one of the things I look forward to in the beginning of these games is to see how each of the teams will approach it. Will they sit back? Will they try to press high or low? But, Georgia Athletic here trying to get a shot off early. Or will they do something like that in attack? So,
right back to Medina. Goes ahead and uses up as many seconds as he can.
That's one thing that's impressed me so far this season with Limeno is how well they hold on to the ball. Their passing game is very crisp. It's be interesting to see what they can do against Athletic today with that game plan.
Limeno, Georgia, currently 5 matches, 3 wins, 2 losses. Georgia Athletic, 5 matches, 3 wins, 2 losses as well. Last match for Georgia Athletic was a win, 2-1 over Georgia Revolution. For Limeno, it was that 6-3 loss on Sunday to Kalanji.
Yeah, that was a very entertaining game against Kalanji. Kalanji, of course, outlasting them in the end. But Limeno led twice in that game.
Yeah, they came out with gangbusters. They were really they really caught Kalanji off guard to start that first half.
Yeah, and they really pretty much harassed them the entire game. They never gave in. Even as they went down late in that game, they kept on 100% with the pressing, and they made Kalanji earn what they got out of that game.
Here's a long shot over the bar, out for a goal kick. This Limeno, Georgia squad. Very deep academy system. They have 2 teams in our Division I system, one in the north, one in the south. They're also going to compete in the academy system when it kicks off in the fall. Or next year, whatever that is.
Yeah, it'll be the fall this year. We have the U13s, U15s, U17s. And Limeno most likely will have a women's team in 2026, so they're going to join.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, we're going to start our women's league, and last weekend in May would be the first game. We have 5 teams signed up.
Be a foul for the Georgia Athletic man. Didn't like that call. It's going to be right about 30 yards out. I didn't really see a foul there. The center official thinks otherwise.
As I always say, they're down there in the thick of the action. They can see what we can't.
Georgia Athletic only going with the 2-man wall. Gutierrez over the ball. Nicholas Gutierrez. Lifted into the box, but it's going to bounce right into the keeper's possession. Very limited on roster information here today. We have Limeno, Georgia's roster, but we do not have an active roster for Georgia Athletic just yet. We're hoping to get it here in just a few moments.
And that can be difficult at this level. A lot of times it's uncertain, the starting 11 and the substitutes until right before kickoff. But we will do the best we can to identify these players we want to showcase them.
Oh, that was a nasty little challenge there. I believe that was Victor Seuss who went down.
Yeah, it was pretty late. It's going to need a moment there. Already both teams pretty lively. No real attacks yet.
Nice ball into the box. Good clearance there by Limeno. Diouf. He'll lay it off. Villagomez having to use some good footwork to get that ball out of the defensive third. Morales, he's going to lay it off yet again. Back to Villagomez. Gutierrez looking. He's going to send it long. Good touch. Able to keep it in. Remember, it's that black touch line down there. If you can see it on the broadcast. Here's a good ball forward. Got it to Gutierrez. Across, and it's in! What a goal for Limeno, Georgia, number 22. What a goal.
Great approach play, Larry. It just slid in behind the defenders there. A little bit slow to react, the Georgia Athletic back line there. As you see here, came up, got behind the defenders, and really unmarked on the left side. The defender just lost the marking there at the end, and it allowed for an easy tap in for Limeno, and a great start for them in this game.
That one coming in the 7th minute.
How will Georgia Athletic respond? I'm sure they didn't want to go down in that fashion so early.
Offsides. Yeah, you never want to go down like that where, I mean, that, I think everybody in the stadium plus those all the way up in the high school could see that ball coming into the back post, and the defense just had nothing for that. An easy tap in for Limeno, Georgia.
Yeah, you can see the defender on that far side kind of gravitate towards the near side where the attacker was running free behind him and he couldn't recover in time, and it was just an easy tap in at the end of that.
Bad pass from Limeno gives Georgia Athletic possession. They've got to play it back. Now looking for, that one just did not find the runner. Goes all the way back to Medina. Limeno, Georgia, always good for a good start. It's just to see if they can maintain that aggression.
Yeah, you want to see them be able to finish things off.
Diouf was a little slow there for Limeno. Good press by Georgia Athletic. That ball not able to control the pass, and it's out for a throw for Limeno. Advantage play as Diouf is fouled. Comes all the way.
Ooh.
Nasty little challenge right there.
He got the ball, though. Hard contact there, but when you go in like that, Larry, you got to make sure that you do get the ball.
And you saw that the referee made sure that Diouf and the Georgia Athletic man made sure to shake hands after that hard challenge in the middle. Here's a header. Ooh, that was not much, but he was called for a push to gain that space.
Came close. Good delivery inside, though.
He didn't get that luck that Harry Maguire got when he pushed off to get that victory for Manchester United. Oh, yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Good job, Harry. Good job.
Yeah. I saw nothing. That's going to go out. It's like Georgia Athletic, a little bit of a stuttering start for them. I don't see the fluid play that they're capable of. Limeno really doing well to start off this game. Pretty much how they've played this so far this season. They are a promoted team, but this is a team that's been around in the area for a very long time. They have played in Premier before here in the Georgia Conference and have done very well.
And this is an easy, or I would say a very equal contest here because both teams have only scored 11 goals in the season so far. They have the same record.
Yeah, they're really neck and neck, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the playoffs. Because remember, it's not just making the playoffs, it's a seeded arrangement as well, so you want to finish as high as possible to get that home field advantage.
And it's going to come into play this season, Dre, because we have 3 teams that are on 9 points. We have 2 teams that are on 11 points.
Yeah,
2 teams that are on 8 points. So that head-to-head is going to be a big factor this season.
I mean, it's so tough from top to bottom, so close, so tight. You know, there are teams that are looking for a playoff spot that could still end up in the relegation zone and vice versa.
Working down the line into the box, deflects off of Gutierrez and cleared. And that's going to be a foul. Good attack by Georgia Athletic. And Orta, just nothing he could do. Wasn't expecting the man coming through. Commits the foul. This one's going to be about 35 yards, 36 yards out.
A little far for direct there, but there's plenty of red shirts forward. He gets it on one of the heads there. They have a height advantage, Georgia Athletic here.
That one's going to find its way out. Rhaegar with that attempt. We finally got the lineup for Georgia Athletic coming through the wire. Medina gets us back underway, straight down the middle to Diouf.
That's a brave attempt there. Plenty of red shirts waiting to pounce.
Nice header there, Gutierrez.
Oh, well done to get out of that danger area in their own third.
Martin had to come back and win that one because that was dangerous. Kibis gets cut off by Diouf. Good movement by both teams, really. That ball's going to be knocked out. They're going to say it's going to be a throw for Limeno.
Yeah, and if you're looking on as viewers, there are two black lines for a touch line. It's the furthest one out. And I tell you, we're not big fans of these mixed-use fields because of all the lines that you see there.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially here at Meadowcreek Stadium, where we have these void sections, way that this football stadium is designed.
Like where it's
Here's
going now.
Here's a beautiful ball into the box. Cut across. That time, Victor Seuss is there. Headed back forward. That pass not where he wanted to put it, Morales. That pass cut off by Gutierrez. He's going to send a nice ball. Oh, Victor got a touch on it. Still has control. Panagos. Just enough to clear that ball. Georgia Athletic having to defend in numbers. Offsides.
Yeah,
Orta just a little too far forward. Tried to gain a few yards there, as all players love to try to do.
Yeah, I tell you, Orta's going to be one player to watch, though, Larry. He's been doing so well this season. He's really quick down the wings.
Oh, what a touch. It's, just pulled wide. This was a really good chance, Dre.
Oh, he got behind the defenders, much like the Limeno attempt earlier. You see, it's a good ball over the top. Well over. He outran the defenders there. Got a good first touch, but couldn't finish. Just a bit outside there.
And he had Medina absolutely set in stone. Half a yard, and that was in, bulging in the back of the net. Foul committed just about midway point. 17 minutes into this match, Limeno, Georgia 1, Georgia Athletic 0 here at Meadowcreek Stadium, home of the Mustangs in Norcross, Georgia. Larry Weaver alongside Andre Bomar for this ASMG TV live action. Diouf with a header, but cleared by Georgia Athletic. Good hold up a play. He's going to earn the foul. Cabus, the striker. And that's one of the things that Georgia Athletic has been struggling this season, Dre, in the striker room, because with the loss of Nazario and Bomio leaving Georgia Athletic.
Yeah, you're right, Larry. I think Mbamia, who's now with Potros, I think they lost a lot of attacking prowess for the team
and a veteran.
Offside.
Mbamio was with Atlanta Rovers Atlanta Rovers before he moved over to Georgia Athletic.
Yeah, he did so well with Georgia Athletic, but now on to Potros, helping their title crunch here midway through the season. Georgia Athletic have found it difficult to replace. You do wonder how well they'd be doing if they did have that attacking option.
And you know, Dre, just how difficult it is to replace that spine. That spine of your team is so critical, from the goalkeeper to the striker. Those are the critical areas. Ooh, nice nutmeg. But they lose possession. No foul. Shot taken. Good save by Medina.
Well-placed Medina there.
And that was a well-placed tackle.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't get it wrong because that was going to be a yellow card if he got it wrong. But he got the ball, cleaned out the man.
Diouf, he's going to make the turn, lays it off. Morales. Pandagos loses the ball and commits the clearance out for the throw for Georgia Athletic. Saturday night under the lights here in Georgia.
Beautiful day here. Ooh.
It's a pretty ball forward, but Guerrero's going to be there to easily maintain possession. Loses possession. This is in the third of Georgia Athletic. This is a possibility for Limeno. Now, there's not a lot of room to get a good run up here, as these lines are very, very tight.
Yeah, this is a very narrow field for this level. They did the best they can to make it as wide as possible. They're right up against that wall there, the touch line.
Cleared away by Georgia Athletic. Garrity will go all the way back to Medina. Depending who you root on in the professionals ranks, this was either a very awesome day or a very not so awesome day.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it on my day. Tell you the truth. The crime that I saw in England with Sunderland today.
Not so good. If you've been following and having a blast with Wrexham, you got to at least, I mean, if nothing much, you got to give a credit. First team in EFL history to get 3 promotions in a row. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and it's a really difficult thing to do in that type of competition in England. When you get to the second and third tiers there's a lot of competition for places.
Now they're really going to know what it's like as you come into the championship. That's when the real test is going to be.
Yeah, and the way it's looking, they're going to play my team, Sunderland, next year. Sunderland are in the playoffs, but they don't look too good right now.
Back underway after the foul by Limeno. Able to keep it in. Good touch. But he's not able to control that second, and it'll be out. But it is a throw. Cleared by Limeno. Good battle there by the Georgia Athletic man. But that pass was a little off. Still have it. Shot taken. Pulled wide.
couldn't get a handle on that shot. He got a little bit of space there. I mean, you were trying to close him down, but got it a bit wide, almost mishit. You just see good passing there, right-footed shot. He just really didn't quite get all of it. Tell you what, if both of these teams make it into the playoffs, these are two teams that can cause quite an upset. So we're going to be able to, if neutrals out there, the fans watching this division play, these are two teams to keep an eye on.
And we've seen it happen before. It wasn't but a few seasons ago that 8th seed Atlanta City did the unthinkable and made it all the way through the playoffs.
Yeah, every round that they played, it was like, okay, at least they got this far. They just kept winning until they won the division playoffs. So never say never. It's a shame they couldn't build on that success. That was the highest they got. It was all downhill from there for Atlanta City after that. And now they're no longer in the Georgia Conference.
You look at the recent success of North Georgia United, making it all the way to the final last season after being in the relegation zone in the spring of last year, only to be saved by a reorganization of the league here in Georgia.
Rewarded themselves by making it all the way to the playoff final. Profile.
And they've looked really good here in the spring. Coach K was that cog that they needed to get that engine moving.
Yeah, up until recently when they dropped some points.
Nice shot by the goal scorer, but it's out for a goal kick.
Decent turnout here of the Limeno faithful in the stands.
Diouf wins it. Another shot. Another one well off the mark. Seems he's got a little bit of that Garnacho in him. Wants to take a shot from about 20 yards every chance he gets.
Nose for goal. Athletic really needing to get some rhythm going, sustained possession.
That was big time guts there from the keeper for Limeno, Georgia. He's getting closed down by Kibis and just calmly sends it out. Penegas. Ooh, here's a pretty ball forward. Received. Trying to work around. Not going to get past the defense. Number 4, Martin, he did not fall for all that fancy footwork. Through center circle. Over here to the near side. Back to him, but that pass just a little too slow. Allow Morales to take it away from him.
Yeah, Athletic was starting to build there a little bit, but an errant pass is giving it back to Limeno.
Keeper surveys. Comes over here to Garibay. Down the line, that one's going to roll out, be a throw. We roll into the 29th minute. It is still Limeno, Georgia 1, Georgia Athletic 0. Goal coming in the 7th minute. Long shot taken, not that far off.
Not a bad attempt at all, Larry. Just a whisker away from an equalizer from deep and long way away here. See, very simple. He finds some space there. Nobody's closing him down. He says, well, I'll just turn and take a look here.
Luis Munoz did not miss by much.
Yeah, and he had the goalkeeper beat.
See the sun starting to set. Quickly thrown in. Georgia Athletic attacking. That one just didn't have enough on it from Kibis.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, number 10.
Poor
Nicholas.
delivery there by the goalkeeper. Is giving it away to.
There's Kibis. He's going to lay it off. That one, good bit up of a play. Didn't end the way they wanted to, but there was a good build-up of play from Georgia Athletic.
Yeah, it started out with a mistake by the goalkeeper when he was trying to roll it out. He was bumped and gave it right away to Georgia Athletic, but Athletic were not able to take advantage of it. See, he gets over there to that far side there. Tries to get around and successfully cuts through on that right side, but the final ball here is just poorly delivered.
Right into center circle and cleared away. Georgia Athletic starting to attack really well.
Yeah, we got a Limeno player hobbling there on the near side here, number 4.
And we're already starting to get a cramp there. Number 4, Gutierrez.
I don't know if it's a cramp or if he had a collision there, I believe. So hopefully we'll go. The referee is there. Asher. Don't know if he's going to wait and see if he can get up. He hasn't called the trainer on. He is getting up.
It should be Eduardo Gutierrez. Assume there'll be a drop ball.
I got a little bit of a limp. I think he's going to try to walk that off.
Just give a chance. It's kind of a mini hydration break for these two teams.
It's been pretty hot and humid today, but the sun is going down. It should cool down a little bit. But they are on that synthetic turf, which is going to hold a little heat.
Okay, you look at 78 degrees, says that it feels like it's 80 with a gust of 13 miles an hour. Really don't feel the wind here in Mustang Stadium, but you're definitely going to feel that heat.
Poor delivery there by Limeno. Gives it again to Athletic. And they give it right back.
Like you were saying at the beginning of the match, Dre, Limeno has been really good about maintaining possession throughout the season so far. This is a bit unnatural for them to lose the possession like they have been to Georgia Athletic.
Yeah, it's a little bit sloppy compared to what we've seen so far this season from them. And I wonder, with them being in the lead here, there's not the urgency. They keep the possession, but they're a little bit sloppy. And I'm sure the Coach Mochila is going to have a word with the boys at halftime about that.
Cleared away. Now we're just trading possession back and forth.
As you say, Athletic, a little bit more urgency in their movement and play with the ball. They're very much attack-minded right now.
They would like to see an equalizer before we go to halftime.
Nice little counter here. Ooh,
That ball
that's
just
poor.
did not go where he thought he was going for it.
I don't know. It was like half a shot and half a cross. Nothing really directed.
You wonder if that may be a part of that cramp that he's been fighting just a few moments ago.
Could be. Might have to, if he makes it to halftime, they'll have to reassess him. Might have to come off.
Limeno holds off that challenge.
Yeah, Limeno, I mean, when we watched him against Kalanji Pro Profile, lots of energy play, closing down all over the field. And you haven't really seen that here. It's been sort of half speed when it comes to that here so far.
Over here to the near side. Good give and go. Long ball. That one's going to find its way all the way out. I think he's really suffering from that cramp, Dre, because those are two chances in a row where he just didn't get it where he wanted it to be.
Yeah, it's the accuracy is way off. Hopefully he'll recover enough to be more of a factor there. In other games, he's really been great coming in from that wing back position, coming up this wing, supporting the attack.
Back underway as we roll closer and closer through to the 36th minute.
Oh,
That one deflected off and it rolls out, but it will be a corner. No, goal kick.
yeah, that ball could have, it sort of ricocheted off a couple of players, could have gone anywhere. But it has gone over the end line for a goal kick.
36 minutes have gone and we still have yet to have a corner.
Yeah, a lot of play in the middle of the field. But outside that goal, not very many chances directly on goal.
And there's been few and far fouls as well.
That's why I'm thinking we're not going to probably get very much stoppage time at the end of this first half here.
Yeah, maybe a minute. Right at center circle. Nice ball forward. Now it's knocked out. It'll be a throw.
It's a good position for him. Like you
little
said,
bit
if this was Dalton, you could look at a long throw, but there's not much room on that touch line.
Yeah, a little bit more room at that point. But here on this near line, there's almost none. And he tries the bicycle. And that one's over the bar.
Couldn't keep it down. Two good opportunities right there, but he could not direct the ball anywhere. So Limeno lived to fight on, still in the lead here. So you see a good throw in into the box there. Tries to get that volley going, mishit a defender, put him off, and then the follow-up was ballooned over the goal.
38 minutes. Limeno, Georgia 1, Georgia Athletic 0.
Oh, good movement there. But again, easily given away. This is not characteristic of Limeno.
They just seem a step off tonight, Dre.
And I'm sure Coach Mochila Galdamez is going to be very upset probably at what he sees already. And for those who are going to be watching us, watch this play go forward here.
Here's a possibility for Georgia Athletic. Just poked away. Still in possession now. Good chance.
Ooh.
That one just not hit with accuracy.
That's where you miss Nazario Mbamio in a situation like that. You want him to be on the end of an opportunity to get that ball onto goal. Haven't seen it so far from Georgia Athletic so far this game.
A lot of those shots that Georgia Athletic is making, that's 20 and 25 yards out.
Yeah, and not really well directed at all either. Not really testing the Limeno keeper.
That one will be deflected off of Limeno, out for an athletic throw. Gains about 10 yards on that throw.
I think most teams practice that.
But again, errant pass, switches possession.
Georgia Athletics sort of sitting back. They're not pressing. Inviting the attack from Limeno to come forward.
Here's a nice ball forward from Limeno to the goal scorer. He tries to one-time it right into the possession of Guerrero, but he's right there to get the second ball.
Good approach play that time from Limeno. Got a shot off and on target.
That work came from Nicolas Gutierrez. Able to get control of that ball, get it forward.
He's got some space.
There's another chance. Penagos.
Oh, first touch let him down, but here's
Shot taken.
half chance there for Limeno. First opportunity there, though. The attacker couldn't quite get control here. You see here, had to wait for the ball a little bit. First touch was a little off, and then the follow-up. I'm not sure he needed that touch. Tried to get it on his stronger left foot. And by then, he just shanked it wide left. Ooh, poor pass down the middle. It's almost like both teams haven't really settled down enough to kind of boss their own actions in attack and in midfield.
Lose possession there. Here's another opportunity. Athletic. Ooh, that one. Again, just pulling it a little wide.
Everything is good for Georgia Athletic except the finishing right now. They've had a number of opportunities, but they haven't really tested the Limeno keeper so far.
Nice long ball out of the back. Good touch. But lose possession. I think that's just going to be the word for this match, Trey. It's going to be possession.
Yeah, got an athletic player down after that collision in the midfield there. I'll tell you one of the features while we wait to see here what happens with the action. ASMG is coming up with ASMG Espanol. It's going to be headed up by Diego Tabares, and we've already had him interview with Coach Galdamez of Limeno. We'll be featuring that interview this coming week. But we have a lot of Spanish language listeners that would enjoy some of the content we provide in Spanish. And we're going to do our best to provide more of that content for you.
That's Martin Gutierrez, number 4, who was injured. Looks to be okay now. And it's one of the things we have here, Dre, in UPSL Georgia, is such a diverse soccer community.
A little disagreement. There's possession given back to Limeno.
That one's going to get knocked out.
Yeah, you're right. We have, I guess there's a reason why they call it the world game. And we got one of our rare corners here.
And it's down here in the void where we cannot see. This will be right as we're entering the 45th minute. Quickly taken. Oh, and Diouf does not miss by much.
Wow, I thought that was going in. It's like we're going to get another corner, though, on the far side.
This one will be on the far side.
Yellow
First
card
two,
for dissent.
and a yellow card.
Yeah, that's for dissent. He warned him, and then he kept talking.
So that'll be in the 45th minute. I believe that was number 8 who received that. That one taken short as well. Nope. The center official did not like something. I believe he was still working on his paperwork when
Right.
that was
I think
taken.
he wasn't finished writing down that yellow.
You see the 4th official is preparing for what is going to be our stoppage time.
Poorly executed corner there, giving it right away to Georgia Athletic. And they have a chance to counter.
That one all the way through. It'll be a corner.
Gosh,
We
now
went from
got
no
the
corners to 3 corners in a row in this 45th minute.
No corners for most of the first. Now we got a flurry of them.
2 minutes of stoppage time. Be an outswinger from Georgia Athletic. Into the box, beautiful ball. Headed back in, cleared by Limeno back in. Several chances by Georgia Athletic, but Limeno finally clear it. All the way out, it'll be a throw for Georgia Athletic. Couple really good chances there for Athletic, not able to get it through that defense of Limeno. High in the air, controlled by Limeno. Good touch, but just be stripped. But it'll be a throw for Limeno. Just about done with the time here in the first half. Diouf trying to lift that ball over. I think that was more of a try to lob it over the keeper more than a ball forward. And in fact, there is halftime. So we go into halftime. Score is Limeno, Georgia 1, Georgia Athletic 0. Really have to say, Dre, it's been a pretty close match between these two teams.
Yeah, it's pretty much what I would have expected between these two teams. They're going to be very close in what they do. What has surprised me is the lack of fluid play from both teams. They're giving the ball away really easily. The finishing has been poor. But, it's still a tense affair, and I think because there's so much at stake that it causes the players to play a little bit more cautious. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments are made at halftime, how they come out, and do the second 45 minutes.
Well, that'll give us a time to step away, get a beverage, get a snack, and get ready for the second half here at Mustang Stadium. It ends at the half. Limeno, Georgia 1, Georgia Athletic 0. Don't go away, anyone. We'll be right back. And welcome back here to Mustang Stadium at Meadowcreek High School here in Norcross, Georgia for this UPSL Georgia Premier Division action. Limeno, Georgia 1, Georgia Athletic 0. Larry Weaver alongside Andre Bomar. And Dre, this was really a very equal first half here between these two teams.
Yeah, very tense affair. I think that both teams want to get something out of this match. They're both looking for a good playoff place midway through the season here. But they're kind of canceling each other out, though, although Limeno does have the advantage by that early goal from the 7th minute. Georgia Athletic have come somewhat close on a few occasions, but the finishing has not been up to par. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments were made at halftime, see if anyone can get the advantage and take the initiative and take it further in this match.
You see there on the screen the leaderboard as it stood before we started this match. Limeno was in 5th, Georgia Athletic in 7th, all both with 9 points alongside Georgia Revolution. Take a look at the Golden Boot race as we're here. Emmanuel Lam still at the top. His teammate Ronald Maradiaga right behind him in 2nd. Chip Vanda Essen down a couple spots for Dalton. Fixtures going along here in the 9th week of the spring season. Still trying to get a few of the scores from around the league. We'll let you know those as soon as we get them. Georgia Athletic is going to get us underway here in the second half. They're going to be moving from left to right in the red kits. Limeno, Georgia in the blue and yellow kits. They're going to be moving from right to left. Just waiting for the whistle to get underway for the second 45. Underway here at Meadowcreek High School. Georgia Athletic attacking quite well in the second half of that first 45. Really putting it to Limeno. And have to say that first 45, like we said, the word of that half was possession. Both of these two teams really struggled to maintain possession.
Yeah, there's some good, passing that moved its way through the midfield, but it's those final balls where they're starting to lose it and give it away too cheaply. But it's equally bad on both sides, it seems, right now. But this is a new half here. Maybe both teams will be settled down, get back to their normal passing possession that they're both well known for.
The only goal of this match so far coming in the 7th minute, Stanley Etienne for Limeno, Georgia. That ball is going to roll out. Will be a throw for Georgia Athletic. We do know that the Pachuca, Georgia and Kalanchi Pro Profile match was postponed this week due to the tragic loss of David Magala, the goalkeeper for Kalanchi Pro Profile. That'll be rescheduled later in the season. We also know that Georgia Revolution is currently leading FC Birmingham 1-0. Still waiting to get confirmation of the Dalton UMA contest, as well as the FC Columbus Elite and SSL FC contest. As soon as that comes through the wire, we'll let you know. Good ball forward. Tackled, but it rolls out, and it is a throw for Limeno. One yellow card coming in that first half.
Yeah, that first half kind of blazed along. A lot of action in the middle of the field, very few stoppages.
Panagos gets it back to Orta, but he knocks it out.
Waiting to see which one of these teams can take command of this game. Right now it's a back and forth affair.
Foul.
Georgia Athletic missing the playoffs last season by a single point, ended up in 9th place. Top 8 teams make the playoffs. Top 4 get home field advantage.
And that home field advantage is going to be critical as you go into the playoffs.
Oh, behind him.
Still able to keep it in.
Nicely done.
Footwork here by the Limeno man. He just kind of falls into the Georgia Athletic man.
Yeah, he needed some help and couldn't quite get it. Tried to fight his way through himself, but here come Athletic.
That was number 18, Leon. It was a good touch, good control. Then he just got barreled over. Good movement by Georgia Athletic. Deflected off, it'll be a throw. It's a deep, deep throw. There's a lot of space over there. They can really get a good throw.
Yeah, it's rare in this stadium to have that kind of space on the sideline.
He elects to just do a light throw. And he's going to be called for a foot foul. Rare that you see someone actually called for a bad throw.
Took the words right out of my mouth on that one. We see a lot of suspect throws, but very few calls.
Good ball from Georgia Athletic.
Oh, he appeared to stop running when he was.
And that was, he's just going to get tackled. We got a substitute ready to go for Georgia Athletic, and they're going to allow the substitution to take place. It's going to be 23 who will be coming off, and also number 7's day is done for Georgia Athletic. Julio Batista, number 6, coming on. Good moving from Limeno. Nice long ball. That one's not going to be able to get there. Too central. Not going to get Leon, who was trying to move down this near channel. You would expect, Dre, that Limeno is going to be kind of in a defensive shell, try to see if they can hold this 1-0 victory out.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not really their game normally, but it seems to be the strategy that they're putting in play here. They don't have quite the energy that we saw last week at Kalanji, and it is more of a sitting back as they check the game ball there. I think they're going to replace it.
Get a brand new Voight ball. Voight, the official match ball sponsor of the UPSL. That one wasn't up to PSI pressure. Back underway. Nice long ball into the box. Victor Seuss hit that one. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Martin. Excuse me.
Ooh, nice flick over the top.
Good control of the ball. That one deflected off of Leon. He gets there. Allows it to be cleared by the keeper. Trying to send the runner down the far channel, but that one just a little too far out. Be a throw for Georgia Athletic.
Nicely done.
Pendergast loses it. And you have to say, Dre, it almost feels like both of these two teams are just a little too hesitant.
Yeah, like I say, it's
That
really
one deflected
tense out
off.
there.
Another shot. That one pulled way wide. You just feel like there's a catalyst coming, and this game is really going to take off.
Got a yellow card there for the Limeno player. It looks like for a dissent of some sort.
I think it was for Pendergast, number 66.
66, yes, it was.
Yeah, I think that just comes from he felt like he's been fouled several times and hasn't received what he feels is proper reception there from the center official.
Well, he's earned himself a proper yellow card. Now he's going to have to walk on eggshells.
Center referee for tonight's match is Asher Morse. Avi Tahiro, Luis Mejia Gonzalez are ARs, and Hassan Dukafakar is our fourth official.
I'd like to thank our referees. They have a thankless job and get an unbalanced amount of blame for things that happen on the field.
Depending on what the result is,
Yeah,
they are
that
going to
count.
be the villain of one of the teams, sometimes even both teams.
Yep. Sometimes
Victor
they're easy
Seuss.
to blame rather than looking at what really happened.
Here's a good ball from Georgia Athletic, cut off by last man, Garibay, for Limeno. That one cut off. Here's another opportunity. Not able to do anything with that one. It gets knocked off. It'll be a throw for Limeno. Both squads have a good amount of players on the bench to be subbed in. 2 subs for Georgia Athletics so far. Each team can do up to 7 substitutions per match. It does not have to be in specific windows. It can be throughout the match. Here comes a long ball from Limeno. Victor Seuss is going to get ahead on it. That's going to go all the way down. And Victor Seuss goes down from a cramp.
Yeah.
And that comes from just jumping up in the air trying to get to that ball.
Cramps are no fun. See if Victor can get that worked out. Sometimes it gets so bad that you have to come off.
Gives us a chance to look at the fixtures. Dre, you see the fixtures for this week. Tomorrow, Potros FC, North Georgia United at 6. Albion SC, Atlanta, and Fountain City FC at 7. Give a chance to look forward to next week. There's only 2 matches next week. Both of these 2 teams at home. Georgia Athletic at 2 against FC Columbus Elite, and at 7 o'clock, Limeno welcomes North Georgia United. That's going to be a major match in this season.
Yeah, that's going to be a tasty one there, I think.
Throw into the box, headed away by Victor. He's still feeling that cramp. It'll be a corner for Limeno, Georgia. It's going to be in the void, so you're not going to be able to see it on the screen. Taken short. Into the box, that's an E. Nice turn. Loses it. Tries another turn. Across, headed, but right into the possession of Guerrero.
Could get
Well, that's a
power on
great
it.
ball forward. And a ball over here, switched to the near side, controlled by Georgia Athletic. Here's a good opportunity for them. Into the box, gets him around the man. Great save by the keeper.
Ooh.
That was a great transition attack from Georgia Athletic.
Action at both ends there.
Now we're starting to pick up the pace. Penagos trying to switch play. He's not going to get that pass forward enough. Gets just enough to be nicked out by Georgia Athletic. Gives a chance for a sub for Limeno, Georgia. It's going to be the goal scorer, Etienne, coming off, number 22. He's going to be replaced by number 12, Marquez, number 12. Nathan Marquez makes his entry in the 60th minute. And that's going to be a foul by Georgia Athletic. And that was really off the ball, Dre.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a clumsy coming together there. It's going to go against Georgia Athletic. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see what Limeno can do, because I still feel like that they're going to have to try to get something else out of this game. If they sit back a little too much, you're talking about they're going to play a little bit more defensive. They could be inviting a little much in for Athletic, and it could cost them. It would help to get another goal.
2-man wall that he's got to work past. Into the box, and that one just, he got it up. but he did not get that ball down.
Yeah. It's been the story of the game here for both teams.
Retrieve another ball as that one went all the way over and into the corner. We entered the 62nd minute. Limeno still holding on to the 1-0 lead over Georgia Athletic.
You said it before that Limeno not known for scoring a lot of goals and is holding true today.
Well, both of these two teams not really known for a lot of goals this season.
And when you look at the way that they've really struggled to finish in this match, you can see why. I think that's a part of the game that they're going to have to work on. Maybe is it personnel or is it training? Only the coaches know.
Here's a chance for Limeno. Cut off. Cleared by Georgia Athletic. Leon takes a shot. Ooh, that one just on the outside.
Yeah, deflected.
And it'll be a corner. Yeah, Georgia Athletic, 11 goals for the season, and 5 of those goals were in one match.
Yeah. We saw something unusual with Limeno against Kalanji, which was quite an accomplishment, scoring 3 goals against Kalanji in one half of play.
Here comes an in-swinger. Bouncing through, Diouf has it, lays it off, but he lays it right to the Georgia Athletic man. Now they're trying to counter. Great tackle by Limeno.
Critical tackle there. Good job.
Quickly thrown back in.
It came off the arm there, I believe.
That ball is going to be drop ball.
Okay, and I do have an update on the score here when we get a chance.
Now here comes Limeno. Leon elects to come here to the near side. The newly entered Marquez. He's going to have to go back. Able to get that to Gutierrez. Gutierrez has got to go back. Now crossing it over to the far side. Diouf gets it to Penegus. Penegus a little bit of a foul, but not called. That ball is going to get knocked out, and it's going to go to Georgia Athletic. Able to stay in. That one thought about jumping over the fence. Laid off. Looking for somewhere to go. Not able to get through that defense. Trying to do it all on his own. Ooh, that was a beautiful ball forward from Diouf. Penegus was closed down, but he was able to release it into the box, bouncing through.
Oh, boy, so close.
Marquez went for it there. Will be a corner. Let's see, this is a beautiful ball coming into the box.
Yeah, got behind the defenders again there, Larry, and unable to finish.
That corner sent too long, cleared out by Georgia Athletic. Leon coming back, winning it. That was a great tackle from Leon.
Nice movement there. Got some results coming in. Ooh.
Update from Dalton High School. Dalton gets the victory. Oh, here's a chance for Georgia Athletic. The keeper is out.
Oh, he took
Shot
a lot of
taken,
time.
deflected off the post. And it's in!
Oh, there he goes.
What a goal for Georgia Athletic coming out of nothing.
Oh, Larry, it took forever. With that first opportunity, it looks like it was going to take too much time. But they got another chance at the goal, and they converted. You see here, he's got there. He gets it over the goalkeeper. Had to wait for it to come down. Then he tried to settle it, which gave the defenders a time to recover, but nothing you could do about the follow-up, which is well done there.
That one coming in the 67th minute for number 11.
Critical goal there.
Luis Munoz with the goal for Georgia Athletic to equalize here in the 67th minute. Now, can Limeno, Georgia come back?
That's what I mean. It was always precarious there for Limeno. And I've said that they needed to go for that second goal.
Victor Seuss able to win that header for Georgia Athletic. Athletic looking for a win here, I think, with about 22 minutes to go plus stoppage time. A win for Georgia Athletic would see them jump all the way to 4th place.
That's massive there for Georgia Athletic. Of course, there are going to be other results on the Kalonji Pro Profile is going to have a couple of games in hand. Here we go.
Georgia Athletic looking to attack again. They're in the box. Tackled.
Yep, he got the call.
He got the penalty.
It was always going to be a gamble to go in and dive in like that from the defender. And he went in, took out the man, and unfortunately could not get the ball. See here, it comes in from behind. That was just, I think if he had that to do over, he wouldn't dive in like that.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do about that one. You come in from that angle, and you're going to get called on it 99% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, he was trailing behind. He was getting beat, so it was a gamble he was willing to take, and he just lost the gamble.
Now, can Georgia Athletic convert? This will be a massive swing in this match, Trey.
Yeah, it really will be.
Just 2 minutes ago, they found the equalizer. Can they take the lead?
Does he have the nerve here?
Oh, what a save! But he got the second one. The follow-up goes in.
Always important to follow up your shot. You never know. And what a critical conversion that is. Goalkeeper guessed right, stopped it, but it rebounded off of him back to the penalty taker, and he was able to just slot it in.
That's also why it's so critical. If you're going to make the save, you got to control that ball.
Yeah. Or if you're going to parry it, try to parry it away from the penalty taker. That went right back to him. So it is 2-1-2 Athletic, just what they needed. And now Limeno are going to have that little mountain to climb to get back in this game.
Cleared away. That goal coming from number 9, Kibis Marine. In the 70th minute. Goals in the 67th and the 70th minute.
Now with Georgia Athletic, the possession game is very important. You want to eat up some of that clock and give yourself another opportunity possibly to get another goal. Limeno are going to have to start playing a little bit more like they did against Kalanji Pro Profile. They're going to have to start pressing a little bit more.
Pronounce that right. That was Marin, number 9, Marin, not Marine, Marin.
Now, you're better than me with pronunciation, so.
Limeno struggling here. Offsides by Georgia Athletic.
Kicked away. He's going to earn himself a yellow probably, yes.
Indeed, Marin with a yellow there in the 73rd minute.
Time wasting.
So not only does he have a goal in his pocket, but a yellow as well.
Referee saw him push that ball forward about 5 yards.
They always try.
Yeah.
Limeno, they need to get something, and they need to get it quick. That one will get knocked out. It'll be a corner.
This is a real opportunity for Limeno. They don't have the height advantage in this situation, so they're going to have to really play their way through the Georgia defenders. But it is an opportunity. Here it is.
Into the box.
Oh!
Missed the head. Diop tries.
Follow-up blocked.
Man, that was a really good chance from Limeno. It was into the box perfectly.
Right across the face of goal, Larry. Nobody there to pop it in. Real opportunity there. Still anybody's game. Plenty of time.
Foul committed by Georgia Athletic. You know, I think about Limeno, Georgia. I think about that final a couple seasons back for the playoff final between Limeno, Georgia and Atlanta Rovers, where it rained all match over at Silverback Stadium.
Well, that was a classic match. Classic time.
And those two teams were just like this, so close to one another.
I think
Victor Seuss is down.
Like with that cramp again, or was that a collision?
He's
holding his back.
It looked like he got bumped in the back.
You're looking at the AR. It was something that happened a little bit off the ball. A collision there. I saw a collision at the corner of my eye. I thought he was going down for a cramp, but he was holding his back, so it must be from that collision.
And that score for Dalton and UMA was final. Still awaiting the final for Georgia Revolution and FC Birmingham, as well as the notice for FC Columbus Elite and SSL.
Yeah, Georgia Revs game is in the 74th minute. Still 1-0 to the Revs. At old Warhawk Stadium.
Victor Seuss is up. Still feeling the effects of that challenge. He'll have to come off with the trainer coming on.
Yeah, it's like something in the small of his back there.
Nothing that the chiropractor can't fix.
And we're going to have a little bit of stoppage time at the end of this half.
We roll into the 77th minute. I assume this will be a drop ball to Limeno.
Yeah, I think he whistled during play for the injury.
Back underway. Over to the far side. Here's a nice long ball, but it is going to find its way all the way out for a goal kick. Didn't have anybody come up to try to gain possession there for him, Dre.
Yeah, a little bit lacking there. Limeno, again, like I say, we haven't seen the fluidness of the normal play that we see from them so far.
Limeno getting ready for a sub.
Yeah, still in the game though. Need one goal to draw, another goal to come back in front, but Georgia Athletic can stretch their lead.
Diouf's day is done. He's replaced by number 21.
Bring on some fresh legs. Oh. Ooh.
Not by much.
Very, very close. Taking off.
Limeno trying to thread the needle.
Yeah, it only takes a moment to get an equalizer.
Georgia Athletic going to do a substitution of their own. It'll be the end of the day for the goal scorer. Kibis Marin, number 9, is what it looked like it was on the board, and indeed it is. He's going to take as many seconds off of the clock as he can, give a handshake to center official as he comes off the field.
Yeah, time is going to become a bit of a factor here.
Number 19 coming on board for Georgia Athletic. Good ball forward. Newly entered Georgia Athletic man. He comes over here to the near side. Trying to work around the Limeno. Oh, that was a beautiful ball. He just couldn't finish it up.
He was able to nutmeg him, but he was a little bit off balance there. Ended up giving up possession.
Back to the defense of Limeno. Switch play. Here comes a nice long ball for Limeno. Gets past Victor Seuss. Leon has it. Into the corner. Great tackle by Victor Seuss. Little bit of a confrontation between the two players. Center official telling Victor to get on back to his area. Quickly taken and thrown in by Limeno. Trying to find his way through. Gets it over to the far side. It's at the box. Over to Leon. He tries to one-time it, deflected off of his own teammate. Now this is the Limeno we're used to seeing. But is this too little, too late? Cleared away. It'll be a throw.
Yeah, you're right, Larry. Limeno finally applying the pressure that we were expecting to see more earlier in the game. Coming very, very close there, putting your Athletic on the back foot for the large part, but now Athletic have an opportunity in their attacking third here.
Fairs tried to take the shot, but it bounced right off of number 12, Marquez, his teammate. That one out. No, it stayed in. Now it's out, but it's again another Georgia Athletic throw. Another substitution for Georgia Athletic. Into the day for number 28. Or excuse, he did it wrong. That was number 8, excuse me. Rieger's day is done. Center official.
A little controversy there.
Giving an extra yellow. You know, I have to think about it, Dre. I can't remember. Did he get a yellow card earlier?
I don't remember if he did.
I could have swore it was number 8 who got a yellow card earlier in the match.
We didn't show a red there. Are we sure he got the second yellow there, or was it somebody on the bench? Here we go.
It must have been somebody else. That ball bouncing through to the keeper for Limeno. He thought about throwing it out quickly. Elected to roll it out to his defense. Coming over here to the near side.
Time is a factor, but there is time.
Thought about letting it go, but Orta elects to come back here to the defensive line. Not the best control of the ball. Allows for the pressure from Limeno. Wins it. Now Limeno starting to really put the pressure on Georgia Athletic as we're in the 84th minute. Good ball forward, cleared away. Sent long, it's going to go. Stayed in.
Yeah.
I thought that was going out for sure.
I was sure that was going out.
Another good ball forward from Limeno, but just enough of that defensive line of Georgia Athletic able to hold it off. Now that one went out. Allows for the pause, another substitution for both sides. Into the day for number 11 for Georgia Athletic, Luis Munoz. Luis scoring that goal in the 67th minute to get this movement forward for Georgia Athletic before they take the lead. Nicholas Gutierrez, number 6, coming off for Limeno, replaced by number 24, De La Espada. Orta's going to send it long, trying to get it to Espada. Espada heads it straight up into the air. It wouldn't be surprising, Dre, if we see a penalty coming the other way, the way that this match is building.
Yeah, I think everything's on the table right now as far as what can happen, and so much action inside the box, in the middle of the field.
Got another player down for Georgia Athletic. The referee is watching the clock. It doesn't matter what Georgia Athletic does here to try to hold the time. He's got the watch. There will be added time.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a few minutes here. Added on a lot of stoppages, a few substitutions, goals scored.
We had 2 minutes in the first half. We're at least pushing 5 for this one. It'll be a drop ball for Limeno. yet again. Back underway. Limeno trying to find a path. That pass completely wrong. But they win it back. And there's a foul. Fairs is called for the foul.
Staying down. Probably no real hurry to get up. Not sure
Number
how
5,
injured he is.
Ignacio, being fouled there. Like you said, Dre, they're going to try to hold every single second that they can get. Sent forward. It's bouncing through. Saved by the keeper.
In the end, it's a very poor attempt on goal there, right to the goalkeeper. Kind of dribbled it to him.
Here comes a beautiful ball forward for Limeno. It gets past Victor Seuss. But Victor's able to clear the ball. Ignacio loses it, but it's still able to get forward, getting past that challenge. But a foul is going to be, and a yellow card for Gutierrez Eduardo here in the 88th minute.
Athletic can do some real damage here if they can get a late goal here to clinch this. Limeno trying to hold on. Yeah, I don't know what this discussion is. Athletic players seem upset about something on the sideline here. I think the center refs are going to go over and take a look here. Talk to the fourth official, maybe. Yellow
card is going to be issued to the Georgia Athletic coach
refs had
or
enough
staff.
of that mouth.
I don't think he was happy with that challenge that Gutierrez put on his player.
Well, you got the foul. I mean, it's a contact sport.
Not able to get it past Georgia Athletic, but it will be a throw. Georgia Athletic coming over to Meadowcreek Stadium, and so far they're going to walk away with a victory unless Limeno, Georgia can get a late winner. Here comes Espada. Over here to the near side. Leon has it. Into the box on the far side. A little too long for Marquez. He runs it down. Keeps it in. And it'll be a throw.
90th minute.
We'll see how many minutes of stoppage time we get. And that's going to be Espada's going to get a yellow card for that for sure. Indeed he will. You saw him basically clothesline the Georgia Athletic man.
And the biggest thing here is the time. That's going to take a possession away from Limeno, who are pressuring here as we go into stoppage time. We'll see if the fourth official is going to put up the...
Yeah, the fourth official was confirming with the center on how many minutes we're going to get. Seven minutes of stoppage time. That is...
Well, there were a lot of stoppages. And a bit of time wasting, to be fair.
That is a very long time. Plenty of time for this Limeno Georgia team to find an equalizer. Also plenty of time for Georgia Athletic to close the door on this match.
Into the void again.
Georgia Revolution match getting close to the end. Nice long ball from Limeno. Headed away by Georgia Athletic. Leone has it. That one into the box. Foul going to be committed. And this gives an opportunity for Limeno. This ball is about 37 yards out. This
head challenge there on the near side. It's 2 in a row. It's going to earn a yellow card there. Limeno have not been able to take advantage of these free kicks they've been getting down here in this attacking area.
94th minute.
We're expecting a minimum of 7 in stoppage time here.
Straight up into the air. What a save!
I think he might have misjudged the ball that was looping in. He's injured himself.
Yeah, and I think that you wouldn't be surprised if he cramped himself.
Limeno player just wants, I think he's suspect that this is time wasting.
Take a look at this again, Dre. You see that jump, and he just went straight down. You would think that maybe it was from just a little overexertion.
Yeah, it could be. He's back up. He's moving pretty good, though.
We're in the 95th minute. We have 2 more minutes of stoppage time. Plus, I would expect a little bit more with what we've been getting out of the delay from both teams, especially Georgia Athletic.
Yeah, we're probably going to get at least 8 at the end of the day here.
Leone fouled. Just got hooked. Georgia Athletic man's thinking that he was simulating.
That was a pretty good hook there. As a right call by the referee.
It's 50 yards out. This ball's just going to get lifted forward. Low allows the Georgia Athletic man to clear it. Going to watch it go out for a throw. Limeno's time is running away from him.
Ooh, block there, critical one. Here we go, still. There's like another Georgia Athletic player down. I think we're gonna get more than the 7. We've had 3 stoppages since the indication has been given.
As we are rolling into the 97th minute.
Lots of discussion going on here. The trainer is coming on. I think that's Victor Sousa, is it?
And the game is final down at Warhawk Stadium, Dre. It's 1-0.
1-0, so they held on to that 1-0 victory, a vital result for Georgia Revolution.
Into the box. Cleared away.
Yeah, we're in the 97th minute, but I guarantee you we're going to get a couple more minutes at least.
Good little hold the play there. Lifted forward, punched away, and Guerrero cleared it, but still Limeno, that one goes out. Good little front roll there by Guerrero.
Just to be sure.
We've finished the 7 minutes of stoppage time. All we're getting is the leftover.
Yeah, we had a few stoppages in stoppage. We're going to get at least 8, maybe more.
Leon puts this back into play for Limeno. Marquez went down, and Limeno commits the foul. Leon takes out the Georgia Athletic man. That's not what they needed.
Yeah, that's a critical turnover there, timing-wise. Georgia Athletic not going to be in any hurry right now.
Cleared away.
Still
Another
playing.
throw for Limeno. Limeno trying to take the throw 20 yards forward. They got away with it. Another ball forward and a foul.
Yeah, that trip there. Here comes the goalkeeper.
This has
for
really got to
Limeno.
be the last chance, Dre.
Yeah, even the goalkeeper for Limeno is coming forward.
Yeah, because we've already gone through 99 minutes.
Yeah, we had 3 injuries in stoppage time.
Here comes the last desperate chance.
Oh,
Controlled by
critical,
Guerrero.
critical.
And that is
That's
going to
gonna be
do
it.
it. Coming from behind to pull away with the victory. Georgia Athletic 2, Limeno, Georgia 1. And I have to say, when it comes to this match, it's that second half thrust of play from Georgia Athletic that is the equalizer. It was those 2 goals in the 67th from Luis Munoz and then the 70th from Kibis Marin that is all the difference in this match.
Yeah, I mean, that critical second half for Georgia Athletic was everything. And Limeno, like we said in the first half, they got that early goal, but they really couldn't convert anymore, and they seemed to sit back a little bit in the second half. So, you know, when you give your opponent a lot of time on the ball and a lot of possession, this can happen. And, of course, the penalty was the clincher for Georgia Athletic. But not the end of the world for Limeno. They're still in great position to get a playoff berth by the end of the season with positive results. But it's going to be a dogfight there in the middle of the table.
You see the scores for this weekend. That Pachuca Georgia Kalanji match postponed. Dalton United with a great win over UMA. Georgia Revolution holding on to that 1-0 victory over FC Birmingham. This match, Georgia Athletic defeating Limeno, Georgia. Still waiting to get confirmation of the SC Columbus Elite versus SSL score. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock, Potros FC taking on North Georgia United. And then at 7 o'clock, Albee and SC Atlanta taking on Fountain City SC. Next week, there's only 2 matches. Georgia Athletic at 2 o'clock taking on FC Columbus Elite. And at 7 o'clock, Limeno, Georgia taking on North Georgia United. That is going to be a critical match in Limeno's season if they're going to continue to make it into the playoffs. Because we look at where they were in the table when we entered today.
Yeah, it's going to be tight no matter where you look at it, Larry. I think that both Limeno and Georgia Athletic are in a good position to make the playoffs. It's going to be a question of what the positioning is going to be.
Now you look at that. They came into this match in 5th place. The win today by Georgia Athletic sees them jump forward. Now, with Dalton United winning, they are now tied with North Georgia United with 14 points, but it gives them Georgia Athletic a jump above Potros. So now they are in 4th place. Potros has found themselves all the way from 3rd down to 5th.
Yeah, and that's how easy it can happen week to week. The results that you can take you up and down the table. So it's just a matter.
Even more than that, with Georgia Revolution winning as well, they have 12 points. That means that Potros is down to 6th. So you see, not even playing today, and they went from 3rd to 6th, but they play tomorrow. And with a win tomorrow, they could find themselves tied with Dalton United as well as North Georgia United. So it is so tight here in the UPSL Georgia Premier Division, just like it always is.
Yeah, there's a lot of good football left for the rest of the season. Of course, we have the fight for the division title, playoff spots, and then the fight against relegation.
Well, that'll do it for us here at Meadowcreek Stadium. For Larry Weaver and Andre Bomar, and for Mr. Joey on camera, that's going to do it. It ends Georgia Athletic 2, Limeno, Georgia 1. Thank you for watching ASMG TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you get all our content, including podcast interviews and live action like you've been just watching for the last 90 minutes. So until then, and we will see you next time here on the pitch. You've been watching ASMG TV.
This has been a presentation of the UPSL. Any use of this broadcast without the written consent of the Atlantic Soccer Media Group is prohibited.